Hello there. Welcome to another episode of the TED in Your Head podcast. I am your host, Ted Moreno, certified hypnotherapist, high performance coach. If hypnotherapy is something you're interested in, tedmoreno.com/contact. That's how you can get in touch with me. We'll have a short conversation, find out if what I do is good for you. And if you're ready, we will schedule an appointment. But let's get into today's episode, the title of which is What Happens After You Die? What happens after we die? Perhaps you've seen the Stephen Colbert videos where he asks celebrities what they think happens. Now, I don't think celebrities have any more knowledge than the rest of us, but I found their answers representative of many of the most widely held beliefs. So one celebrity said that we transfer into another body. What do you think about that? Another said that we go to heaven or hell. I would imagine that you're more likely to believe in something like that. But there were also some more interesting answers. So Matt Damon, if you know who he is, said, I think we go home. Okay. Ethan Hawke said, I don't think we die because we don't have a concept of divine time. That makes sense. Daniel Craig, Mr. James Bond, said, nothing. We become stars. I don't know if he meant stars in the sky or movie stars. I'd like to think when we die we become movie stars, but who knows? Prince Harry said, I think we become animals. Like Judy here. Judy, were you somebody else before? Judy's kind of shy. Anyway, Prince Harry said, I think we become animals. I think that's very interesting. But Robert De Niro said, it's harder to get a job, which I suppose it's hard to get a job if you're dead. But perhaps the most realistic answer, and one that we can probably all agree on, was the response from Keanu Reeves, who said, I know the ones who love us will miss us. And I thought that it was interesting that this was the only answer that speaks to this life as opposed to the afterlife. So, what happens after we die? Sometimes people come to me wanting to do a past life regression. This is where I put a client in hypnosis and allow them to tap into their subconscious mind so that they can access memories of previous lives that they may have lived. 30 to 35% of the world's population believe in reincarnation, but only 1 in 5 Americans do. According to a Gallup International poll in 2022, in the United States, 55% believe in both heaven and hell, while 29% believe in neither. According to the same poll, globally across 61 countries, 59% of respondents believe in heaven, while 53% believe in hell. So more people believe in heaven than hell. So while 70 to 80% of Americans believe in some sort of afterlife, 13 to 17% believe that nothing happens at all. You're just dead. Nothing happens. You're just gone. About 24% of Americans say that they have no idea what happens after death. No clue. No idea. Now, I've worked with more than a few people as clients that find that even thinking about this makes them very, very uncomfortable. Are you feeling that way? I hope not. So, what happens after we die? I have to admit, I'm part of the 24%. I have no idea. I personally have no belief about that. I think anything's possible. Maybe when we die, we wake up to find that we've been dreaming this life. Nobody knows. You might have a belief, but nobody knows for sure. period. I've done a couple of podcasts about the subject of death. In 2025, I did episode 473, Thoughts About Life and Death. And in 2024, I did episode 462, Remember What You Don't Want to Think About, Memento Mori. That's Latin for remember that you have to die. And of course, pay taxes, death and taxes, right? I think sometime between when I was 50 and 60 years old, I started thinking, shit, I'm getting up there. Can you relate? What happens after we die? Maybe a better question is, what happens while we live? I've been to a number of funerals lately. It seems that the older you get, the more people that you know die. Kind of makes sense, right? But one thing I can say for certain about all of those funerals and memorial services is this. People came out to speak with respect and love about those that passed. Those that were gone were missed. Of all the people that Stephen Colbert asked what happens after we die, I think the only answer that can be said to be true is the ones who love us will miss us. Although I think it's true what Robert De Niro said that it's hard to get a job if you're dead. I think that's true as well. But the ones who love us will miss us, hopefully, right? I'm not too concerned about what happens after we die. But I think it might be better to be more concerned with what happens while we live. Let's focus on this side of the grave and do what we can to be missed by those that loved us, knew us, and benefited from the fact that we did live. Thanks for listening. Bye.